cobbled pavements.
Our squad was waking up around 5:30 to take over towers.
Well, me and my squad were getting up at about 05:30 to go on guard at 6 a.m.
On July 4th at 5:30, we woke up for a mission, and at 5:35, the first rounds impacted on the cop.
Fourth of July, 2009.
We started hearing incoming rounds, and at first we didn't know if they were incoming or outgoing, but we turned on the emitter, and the towers were saying they were taking small arms. So my squad got up and we started throwing all of our stuff. I was one of the first people out of the cannon. I ran down Skid Row, and I was right about to turn onto the motor pool, and I was deciding maybe I should wait for the next incoming round to come in so I don't get blown up, you know. And waited for about 20 seconds, and I was about to go. All of a sudden, a round just came in, flew right over my head, and blew up right next to me. So I just took off running to Tower 3.
Threw on my IBA, ran up into our Tower 2, and when I got up there, there were rockets and mortars coming in, and everyone was just staring. So I started with the 50 cal, searching, traversing the mountainside, and got them all back into it, and shooting.
That's all I got open right now. And basically I ran to the talk to start working a counterfire, because at the time we didn't really think that there was a complex attack happening. It was probably just some sort of indirect fire, because we have taken several indirect fire incidents since we've been out here. So basically went to the talk to start working the counterfire, had my FOs go out and start to look for targets and whatnot. And shortly after I got to the talk, we started taking pretty intense indirect fire, very accurate. Everything was landing in the cop. And towers started taking small arms fire. So at that point it became pretty obvious that we were under a complex attack, because the guys were getting hit from all sides. We got about 10 rounds off, and we heard another loud explosion. Everybody started screaming for medics.
No, I think they're in those houses somewhere. Dude, that's pretty close.
So I had PFC Casillas come to the talk to figure out which targets I wanted him at, and you know, the commander and I agreed that we needed to target Indians, which was right behind us, big mountain where a lot of them were on, and had him you know, go from small to big, start shooting the 60mm mortar while we're waiting on approval to shoot the 81s and 120s out there. So we let him know so they could see us go shoot. Go ahead and start laying into target Indians. He said, Roger. We left. He ran out here. With about a minute after that, we started hearing the 60mm mortar start rocking.
1-3, 1-2. Check. Hang it.
Fire. 297. Check.
Hang it.
Fire.
Fire.
And I got about 10 rounds off, then we heard another loud explosion. Everybody started screaming for medics, so I knew that the mortar pit had gotten hit because I didn't hear the mortar going off anymore because I told him to shoot 40 rounds and he only got off probably about 15 to 20.
So I started to come back, and it's about a 100-meter dash. On the run, I noticed that the mortar pit was on fire, ran inside, and when I got to the entrance, I found 2 of our people laying there face down and didn't have a pulse, so left him there, picked up the other guy, checked him for a pulse. He had a pulse, so grabbed him with somebody else. It was Private Cutler, came up behind me, and we carried him to the aid station. We dropped him off with the medics, and I helped pull off his IBA, and then went back out to the tower.
We wanted to return fire with our mortar systems, and both Casillas and Fairburn were mortarmen. Fairburn immediately went to the pit to man his tube, as is the battle drill. PUC Casillas ran to the TOC in order to get the fire mission because the comms in the mortar FDC were down. So we gave him the fire mission from the TOC. Casillas ran back en route back to the pit after they fired the first few fire missions. PFC Fairburn was injured by a shrapnel from an incoming round. PFC Casillas, without hesitation, actually pushed his headquarters platoon sergeant and mortar crew chief aside and put Fairburn on his shoulders and carried him out of the pit into incoming enemy indirect and direct fire. And en route to the CCP, a round struck and mortally wounding both Fairburn and Casillas. So as far as Casillas' actions, he ran into incoming fire 3 different times. One, to get a fire mission in order for us to return fire effectively on the enemy. The second time, to retrieve PFC Fairburn, who was injured in the mortar pit. And the third time, to take him to the CCP. So that was very worthy of us putting him in for a potential Silver Star. And hopefully he gets proof for it, because I think he's very deserving of it.
We noticed a jingle truck turning down a closed-off road from the new bazaar, which didn't look very good. It was kind of shady, so we gave it a chance to stop. It kept coming, so we started shooting at it. They opened up with a 240 and 3 M4s from Tower 3. We were firing a SAW, an M14 and an M4 from our supplemental position, all at the cab of the truck. It turned the corner, got about 15, 20 feet down the road and stopped. Probably because we killed the driver. So he stopped, and then 3 to 5 seconds.
All I heard was a loud explosion. Turned out to be a V-bid. So I sprinted down and checked on all the A&A, made sure they were okay. And that's when I heard Bayer yelling for help. And freaking ran down to him, and his face was cut open from the V-bid.
We ran over, immediately elevated his head. I started shoving gauze in his cut, wrapped his head in Israeli bandage, and by the time I got it done wrapped, Specialist Chandler was up on the roof. He helped take Bayer down to the aid station. And at this whole time, we started taking small arms and RPGs, and there was still IDF going off around us.
So the fighting just continued to progress, and we could not get any mortars out. Everybody in our mortar pit had gotten hit in some way and gotten injured. So basically after that, you heard a very loud explosion that, like I said, everybody in the talk got thrown pretty much across the room and everybody else, and it was pretty obvious that something happened. So Commander and I made the decision to call Alamo. So we didn't have any comms, so I typed in Alamo, Alamo, Alamo. And basically what Alamo does, it pulls all aircraft in Afghanistan out here because they're in our wire and they're trying to overrun us.
Like Battleground, we've got hundreds of episodes, video on demand and podcasts at pentagonchannel.mil.
We didn't have, most of our communications were knocked out by the VBID, so it was pretty much myself and Sergeant Mahfouz talking to the aircraft. We do that by radio. Basically you call up to the aircraft, give them a situation update, tell them where the enemy is, tell them where the friendly units are, and then tell them to engage those units as you need to.
All right, Roger. We're still taking effective indirect fire. We just took another direct hit to our talk.
That's right there. Up. Roger, got it right there.
Go ahead and take those individuals out as soon as possible and see if we can find this indirect team.
And firing. Fire.
Approximately 200 meters to the southeast of our position of the COP. Over.
Did you get it laid in the stone? Roger, laid in the stone. Target 28. That is definitely a person. Yes, it is. Alright, we got something here hot on the hill. Like an individual crouching down. We're a hard left turn engaging. You're clear, sir. Roger, and firing. And firing. Able D, outbreak.
Outbreak, this is Able 95.
Roger, are the enemy in that collide that you guys hit with 203 or something?
Yes, they're in that collide.
Roger that, yeah, we put 2 rockets on there, and we're back inbound for another rocket run. Alright, put some in there. Right on.
Outbreak 7-3, Able 95. Good gun, good gun.
Wasn't gun. Roger. Please. Get fired.
Outbreak, this is Able 95. Roger, they're still taking fire from that location.
Roger, that collide, we put some rockets on. Are they taking fire from that collide to the left?
That's a firm.
Okay, roger that. Leading. Roger. Fire. And firing.
Mark 7-3, Able 95.
95 is ready to drop a JDAM building fires on the building. The Apaches are shooting.
They can help us spot the enemies on the ground that we may not be able to see because they're hiding behind a ridge line or they're hiding in low grounds. So the aircraft not only help us spot those enemies, but also engage and destroy them if our own weapon systems can't do it.
Mark 17, Able 95. Good job, good job. Happy 4th of July, everyone.
That's right.
That's awesome, mate.
Hey! Ceasefire! Ceasefire!
I believe they were planning this attack for several months, actually. There were several key leaders in the area. I believe there was a key leader for our whole province. I think numbers-wise, my estimate is about 200-300 Taliban. I believe we wounded around 40, killed around 60.
I think this company is special within the fact that if it wasn't for the camaraderie that the guys have around here, or if it wasn't for the fact that we were able to keep everybody's morale up, just within the living conditions alone, some guys could possibly go crazy off of that type of stuff. But the fact that we're able to talk to each other, and the fact that we're able to joke around and, you know, play games or do whatever it is that we've got to do to keep everybody's heads up, and even especially after 4th of July, after that happened, you know, all you have is your team. All you have is your guys. And so I think this company's handled it very well.
In that situation, there's two types of people. Either you're going to break down and not want to do anything, or you're going to, you know, realize that it's my life and my buddy's life next to me that I have to work for, and you're going to, you know, step up and do what you got to do. And pretty much everybody that day did what they had to do. There wasn't anybody really that was, you know, quivering in a corner, scared, not doing their job. Everybody knew what they had to do, and it was just second nature. It could have been a lot worse if guys didn't do what they had to do, but because we were prepared and we were on point, it saved a lot of other people's lives.
There was a lot of heroic acts by my men on that day. They performed not only to standard, but above standard. Without their efforts, you know, the cop would have taken a severe hit, and they possibly could have breached our perimeter.
The attack on Combat Zerok was an assault on the men who fought bravely that day. But it was also an affront on the values that make America great. It was no coincidence the insurgents attacked on Independence Day. These terrorists stand against everything the United States fights for. The 4th of July is a day to celebrate our freedom. And during all the wonderful festivities, take a moment to remember the sacrifice of men like Casillas and Fairburn, along with the millions before them that have paid the ultimate sacrifice for our liberty.
Tell your children not to do what I have done. Spend your lives in sin and misery in the house of the rising sun.